What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. How y'all doing? What's going on? All right, so let's get back to it. Get back to it. You see who we talking about today. I got some thoughts on this, but let's watch this first.
August has been a terrible month for Roland Martin. There's evidence that he was cheating on his wife, despite having a public persona as a really good black man and faithful husband. And to be honest, that can happen in relationships. Other politicians or former politicians have also had a bad month, including Andrew Gillum, who has been arrested at least twice in the last 3 weeks.
I didn't know about that. Wow. Wow. Records say he missed the drug test and was positive for meth. Meth? Meth? I never heard of a black person use meth before. Meth?
Damn, damn, damn!
But the difference between Andrew Gillum and Roland Martin is that Roland Martin says things like this.
These same dumbasses, these FBA people.
It wasn't the scandal that really ruined Roland Martin's reputation as much as it was the hatred towards the foundational Black American community that really added fuel to the fire. And as it appears, Roland Martin hasn't learned his lesson. The big issue with Roland Martin is that he sticks up for every other group instead of his own group. And don't get me wrong, Roland Martin will call out racism for Black Americans, but the issue is he sacrifices the Black American autonomy in order to give it to other people. At least that's the claim. Let me show you a good example of what I mean.
These are people that have been not successful. They're people that have been, in many cases, failures. They come from other failed countries, and they come here and they tell us how to run our country.
Here is Donald Trump discussing his issue with people from broken nations trying to come to the United States. And this is why Donald Trump has made it extremely difficult for immigrants to come here. But here is where he got into the most trouble.
They come from, let's say, as an example, Somalia. They come in and then they tell us how our Constitution, how our Declaration of Independence, how it works. It doesn't work that way, and they're not smart. They have no aptitude.
Hace unos años, prometimos llegar.
Now, Donald Trump mentions the country Somalia by name. Now, obviously, he's been having this huge beef with Somalia for the past 1 to 2 years, but he says something important. They don't really contribute and they don't have the aptitude. And this particular comment would get responded to.
But to say that an entire group of people don't have aptitude and aren't intelligent is eugenics. I mean, it's eugenics. It is the foundation of white supremacist bullshit.
And technically, she is correct. This is the kind of talking points that white racists use when they want to dehumanize another group. And aptitude is really a natural ability or the potential to learn, understand, or become skilled at something. And a lot of people have the natural ability to learn or perform at something. What we're now talking about is ecosystem. But just because he's generalizing Somalis with the phrase aptitude, it doesn't mean that there are some concerning numbers about Somalis. This is important because Roland Martin has castigated foundational Black Americans for refusing to stand up for the rights of Haitian migrants or Somalis. What we want to know is if Donald Trump is reaching when he talks about the performance of Somalis in the country. Now, when you look at Somali migrants coming to the United States in comparisons to others, the numbers are very, very interesting. The Somali migrants or immigrants perform the worst across the board. The median household income is $47,400. The bachelor's degree attainment is 26%. their poverty rate is the highest. Now, comparing them against other sub-Saharan African immigrants, whether they're coming from English-speaking countries like Nigeria, Ghana, or Liberia, or Francophone countries such as Senegal or Congo, the Somali migrants perform even worse than them. The median household income for other migrants is at least $10,000 higher. Their bachelor's degree attainment is 20% higher, and they're 7.5% below the poverty rate. When we look at Hispanics, Somali migrants also are behind them, and in comparisons to Asian immigrants, it's not even close. When you look at Somali immigrants in comparison to U.S. foreign-born migrants post-1990, Somali migrants are not doing very well. And 1990 was 36 years ago. And after 36 years, it's close to almost a generation, and still Somali immigrants are doing bad in the United States. So when Donald Trump says, well, they have an aptitude problem, it's still wrong and racist, but the numbers don't lie. Somali immigrants perform worse across the board.
He's right, you know.
We can also look at how Somalis perform in the United Kingdom. I believe this is important because if Donald Trump is saying something, then we must look at Somalis in other places. And here we have in the 1990s, if we combine employment, education, and relative earnings, the Somali community is dead last. Other African migrants are a lot higher at 55. We would expect Somalis to have the same exact score as other migrants, and we simply don't see that. When we look at South and East Asia migrants, they are leaps and bounds better than Somalis, despite some of them speaking different home languages. And European migrants coming from closer countries into the UK are performing the best, almost 50 points higher than what we can expect from Somalis. But what about Canada? In Canada, we're seeing Somali refugees perform at the same level as Afghanistan and Iraq. And we gotta be fair, these are war-torn countries where a lot of the educational systems are ruined. But in many cases, some of these other places, such as the Sudan, such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, and these other African refugees are still outperforming the Somali ones. When you look at some of the Southeast Asian refugees from Vietnam and other places, they're doing better. And if you look at all of these people, South Asian, European economic family, after 15 years, guess who's at the bottom? Somalis. When you look at the EU, you see the same thing that you see from the United States. It's only in South Africa that we see the Somalis doing a little bit better, and that's because the economy in South Africa is not necessarily so great, and there is a reliance on the informal economy, which makes them a little bit better. But still, in the developing world, the Somali community is having a big problem. So when Donald Trump talks about their aptitude, he's still wrong. But after 36 years, there really shouldn't be an excuse as to why the Somali community is still struggling. And that brings us to Roland Martin's next point.
Racism, Mustafa. That's who he is. How he feels about African nations.
I like making my podcast. I don't like making short clips of my podcast. So the AI.
It's clear, and that's all this is. This man is an absolute racist.
Now, Roland Martin calls out Donald Trump for this blatant racism. Now, it could definitely be inferred that he's racist against Somalis. I know he does have a personal beef with them, but the question would be, should foundational Black Americans waste their energy or put their energy into defending a community that they don't really get anything from? And that's largely the question. Most people will listen to what Donald Trump is saying, and they can infer that, hey, this sounds racist, this sounds targeted. But in the past, foundational Black Americans have spoke up for other groups. And the issue is, when you speak up for a group, human nature says that I need to somehow get something out of it in the future. And when you speak up for some of the immigrant groups, some may say Haitian, some may say Somali, some may say Nigerian, or whatever the case you may say. It could be even non-Black groups. The consensus will be, for many people in the foundational Black American community, is I'm trying to assist the person that wants to replace me, that doesn't understand my struggle. So while Donald Trump might be racist in speaking against the Somali community, it still benefits me not to say anything. Because remember,
Somalis are not black. Let me explain why. Looking at me right now, chat, am I black? I'm literally brown.
that's right, y'all are not black. And furthermore, when you look at the Somali communities in the United States and Canada and Europe, for whatever reason it could be, and I'm pretty sure that they've been devastated because of wars, just like Haiti, but you gotta have something to offer in the world. For an example, I'm here in Uganda and nobody wants to hear my story or my issues. If I can't contribute, guess what? Nobody wants to deal with me. And the problem that Roland Martin has and a lot of people in the DNC is that Black Americans should take the higher road and stand up for people, even if those people would not stand up for them. But we come back to the parity question. What am I getting if I stand up from them? And I've seen them in the country for 36 years. I see their insular communities. I see they're Muslim. I see that they speak their own language. I see that many of them do not consider themselves black. So, okay, I'm wasting my time. That's why I want to delineate, because they have delineated from me. So I have no real incentive to speak up for them. And Roland Martin, you get mad at me because I don't want to speak up for somebody who doesn't care about my issues, and all of a sudden I'm a dumbass?
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
And that brings me to this point.
Somalis call us Zarirs. It's basically the N-word, but they'll say it just means nappy hair. But come on, the word is used as a slur.
Now, I wanted to know what the term Jareer meant. So I went over to Google Gemini and I typed it. Somali Jareer, what does this mean? Jareer is a term used in Somali culture to refer to the Somali Bantu population, an ethnic minority group living primarily in southern Somalia along the Juba and Shabelle rivers. Then I wanted to know if this was an insult. And it said, while some members of the community and humanitarian groups use Jareer or Somali Bantu as descriptions, the term Jareer has historically been an
Look at this. Look at this. Roland Martin. Roland Martin. It's time to pack you up. I don't know if you Haitian and you got a problem with FBA, why not just go back to Haiti? Why not? And anybody else that's not pro reparations, that's asking for the support of my people, just go back to Haiti. Don't complain. Don't ask us what we could do for you. I think we did enough. You have entitlement now. You have entitlement that somebody needs to do something for you. We did. Report user from my channel, or report, yeah, report user harassment or hate speech. Yeah, probably should have put impersonation. Probably should have put impersonation. But actually, now I want to watch this video. A lot of people are not talking about Gary, Indiana in the dark. A lot of people not talking about Gary, Indiana in the dark. Which video? I don't know. I don't know. Let's choose this video. So, one more thing. I've been saying it for a long time, but I've actually made progress, and I'm gonna need y'all help. So in the next video, maybe not in this one, maybe in the next video, I have some theme songs I'm working on, and I want to get y'all opinion. I want to get y'all opinion. I want y'all to tell me which one is good, which one is better. or if I should just scrap them both and start over. Uh, let's see if I can play it. Let's see if I can play it. Let's see if y'all can hear it. Let's see. Try to play them.
I give you all my takes for life. Welcome to the channel. We talk about it all. The hits and the misses. We never miss a call. Break it down in seconds. We keep it quick and smart. Commentary and reviews. Right from the very start. Talk it out.
Okay, that's one. This is the second one.
Welcome to the channel. We talk about it all. The hits and the misses. We never miss a call. We break it down in seconds. We keep it quick and smart. Commentary and reviews right from the very start. Talk it out. Talk it out. Recording, dive right in. Every take becomes a win. The hot takes and the deep dives. I give you all my takes for life. Welcome to the channel. We talk about it all. The hits and the misses. We never miss a call. Break it down in seconds. We keep it quick and smart. Commentary and reviews right from the very start.
Alright. So which one y'all like? I kinda have my thoughts, but I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. Do y'all like one more than the other? Do y'all hate both of them? Should I just start over? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, peace out.